Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, June the 16th, race number 6 at Belmont Park. We kick off the pick 4 with this New York bred optional claimer, second level allowance, $45,000 claiming option. Let's take a peek at this field. Please scan the QR code to view race of the day on your mobile devices, and you can get race of the day free formulator past performances on the race of the day event page at drf.com. Take a peek, handicap along with us. When you've made your final determinations, play this race in the entire card at beautiful Belmont Park with your DRF Bets account. It's an evenly matched group of New York breds, Mike. It does look like the number 3, St. Selby's speed, makes him dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It is a well-matched group. Several of these horses, though, have already had plenty of chances. Dan, St. Selby is going to go with his speed in this race. We'll see what they do with the horse drawn to the outside there, Dan Brock's Bomber, because they've started using his speed again in his last 2 starts. And if they do that in here, St. Selby's not going to be lonely on the lead.
He's really the key to the race, isn't he, from a pace perspective, because he went very fast on the lead last time out, going 7 furlongs. This sort of outside post position gives him several options. I think that St. Selby's faster, but he might take some heat from Bronx Bomber. We're going to take this field in program number order. We'll begin with the number 1, part of this coupled entry owned by Barry K. Schwartz, Our Man Mike, who last time out caught a fast pace, came with a little bit of a run, finished 4th past some tired horses in the stretch. The winner of that race is Sharp, came back to win an entry-level race with an 81 buyer.
Yeah, this horse is a 1-run closer. So he's going to hope that Bronx Bomber goes after St. Selby early in this race and, sort of sets this thing up for some of the other horses in here, because this horse might be slower than everybody else early here. There are a bunch of closers in this race, but certainly Our Man Mike is not going to be anywhere near the lead in here. He's also kind of feels like he's in a little tough in this race, and as part of an entry with a horse who makes a lot more sense than he does, even if you like him in here, you're not going to get a great price.
It is true that the 1A Amundsen has better credentials on the way in. This horse won the Holly Hughes for New York breds back in 2020. He could still step. He won 2 starts back, coming from off the pace at Aqueduct. Last time, he caught a very tough allowance race at Laurel. 3 next out winners. The winner of that race is stakes classed in the Mid-Atlantic Circuit. The 4th finisher from that race came back to win for 50 at Pimlico with an 88 buyer. I wish he ran a little better in that race, but it was his first start off a 2-month layoff. This horse can be a bit of an in-and-outer. On his best day, he fits with these horses.
100%. If he runs his good race, he's going to be a handful in here. He's actually really good. He is inconsistent, though, so you do have to worry about that. He ran really, really well 2 starts back, and that was a day where he had a fast pace in front of him, which he might have here, and he just came running and closed it down. But if they don't go that fast, Dan, he's not slow. He can keep up if this pace isn't fast. In some ways, I think he's the horse to beat in here, but he is a little bit tough to take any kind of short price on, because you don't always know what you're going to get.
Double Shot, the number 2, has been claimed in 3 of his last 4 races. He's now with trainer Kelly Breen after this victory in state-bred $25,000 claimers. He didn't break well in this race, but that was fine because they were hitting up front. Double Shot gets to the outside, and he runs them all down.
Yeah, this horse is actually pretty good, too. He's another horse who doesn't have any early speed, so you know where he's going to be in the early part of this race. And this is also a pretty significant step up in class for Double Shot. I like him as a horse. I do think he's pretty good. I think he's in pretty tough here off the claim, though, Dan, for Kelly Breen, who actually does do a pretty good job off the claim. Doesn't claim a lot, but he does a good job with those horses.
Lot of layoff lines for the lightly raced 4-year-old, the 3 St. Selby. It seems when he gets to the track, he's pretty fast and he's got a little bit of ability. We'll watch his race 2 starts back, going 3/4 of a mile at Aqueduct, first level New York bred allowance race. He got to the front in here, set the pace off of the rail, forced looking for trouble. The 7 a little bit wide on the backstretch and into the turn, straightens out, always had that horse's number. Not a lot of running coming from the back in this race. The last place finisher would win next time out at Finger Lakes at 2 Life with an 81 buyer. Interesting, they put this horse on turf last time.
Yeah, I thought it was too, especially going 7. I guess maybe they just thought that he would be able to get, comfortable on the lead that day, which didn't necessarily happen. He does have some turf pedigree, though, so it's not like it was, an impossible spot for him. I don't know. I just think he's better on dirt. The win we just saw, I didn't think he beat a great field that day. But his other 2 starts on dirt, he ran really well in both of those. So I do think he has some ability, and obviously his speed makes him dangerous.
Big Bobby for Bill Mott is the number 4. Jose Lascano takes them out. Horse coming off of a little bit of a break, about 6 months for Big Bobby. Ran well 2 starts back at Aqueduct. That was a race where he was kind of hung out wide. He was under urging on the back into the turn, 4 wide, made the lead. And I think just the last run was the best run in that race. And he got out finished at the very end. Last time out, he was the beaten favorite. Let's take that race with a grain of salt. Just not a lot of pace for him to run at.
Yeah, and just a very wet track too. Coming at the end of a race where, I mean, he'd basically been in training, in racing and training from the beginning of May all the way through to January 1st. I mean, I think maybe he needed a break at that point. Over his form prior to that was very good. I mean, just in the exacta, in every one of those starts, when he didn't win, he's in against horses like River Dog and Judge and Jury. This horse is okay. I think the layoff could have done him some good.
Winner of the last race, More Grateful, came back to a 79 buyer, went third for a $45,000 New York bred Tag. Mass Marauder might be a wet track move up. This horse earned a giant buyer speed figure. 2 starts back, a 96 over Muddy Going, caught a sealed good track at Belmont last time out. Let's watch this race on May the 14th, a race in which there was some pace. Mass Marauder likes situations like this. He got to the outside. He's going to come with a run to get up for second.
Yeah, it wound up, back off the pace in here. I don't know. He's just sort of forging on here, Dan. This isn't a big finish from this horse. And it was the kind of situation where you just were so interested to see what he would do in this race because his prior start, as you've already mentioned, I don't know where it came from, but he ran huge in that race. And you kind of wanted to see if he could back it up. I don't know. I personally don't think he backed it up all that well in that race we just watched. But he did run second. I guess he's a contender right back.
Gemography is up next off the Linda Rice claim. We just saw him finish 6th behind Mass Marauder. Maybe he doesn't appreciate wet tracks as much as Mass Marauder, however. I wish I liked his race a little bit better 2 starts back, but he was just in against Too Tough that day, right? I mean, he was in against Mr. Phil, who's an open 2 other than, who just got blasted by Jackie's Warrior in the True North, but Mr. Phil would be a very short price in this race against New York breds. Gemography, I think, has found a good spot off the Rice claim.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I could use him in here at the right price because he's another horse who has really good tactical speed. I don't love his last race, but he doesn't seem like a horse who really likes a wet track anyway. He's going to be back hopefully over fast dirt in this spot. I just feel like if he shows up, on the kind of surface he likes and gets the right kind of trip in here, I think he can impact this race at a price.
His uncoupled stablemate, Bronx Bomber, is going second off the Linda Rice claim, and he finished behind Mass Marauder and Gemography last time out. But he was setting those very fast fractions over a wet track. And keep in mind, he's winless from something like 12 or 13 tries on a wet track. I think he likes fast going. They used his speed too back. I really love that ride and those those tactics that day. The question is, can he get to the lead here? I'm not sure, but he should be in a good position turning for home.
Yeah, he's really fast. So if that's how they've decided, they went back to this is a horse who, if you go way back in his PP's, Dan, he used to be a speed horse. Rudy claimed him back in the beginning of 2021, and all of a sudden he turned into a 1-run closer. I don't know how that happened, but that's what happened. He didn't win any races for Rudy, a lot of seconds and thirds with that running style. They finally dropped him in for 25, 2 back. They went back to using his speed. He beat a pretty weak field pretty easily, though. And then I think he just went too fast last time on the lead.
The price will be right on Bronx Bomber, who figures to drift a little bit off of his last race, where he was 5-1 against Similar. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRFTV offerings. Time for our top picks for the Thursday race of the day. To kick off the pick 4, Big Bobby, Mike, coming off a little bit of a layoff. You don't worry about that with Bill Mott.
Yeah, I wasn't that worried about the layoff. I feel like this is a good spot for them to bring him back. I think he does fit well with this field, and he also has a lot of upside. Most of these other horses in here, Dan, outside of your top pick, you kind of already know what they are. I think Big Bobby could take a step forward in here and be tough.
Hate the plethora of layoffs for the 3 St. Selby. Do like this horse's speed, like that he might have a little bit of upside. Getting back to his preferred surface, should be in front, I think, when the field turns for home. 4-3-6-1 for Mike, 3-2-4-1-A for me in the Thursday race of the day. Best of luck.